above. You know, I knew the ridge top was just a little bit above us, but this was from higher above that.
We were all convinced this one was fatal. At last.
Only it wasn't. Quite a disappointment to my beloved son. Well, at least I know now where we stand. Now, you open that door and send Hannah up to me.
Not yet, Mother.
Why?
Because, you see, we don't really know just quite how we stand, do we?
Don't... Don't you look at me like that.
How was I looking, Mama dear?
You want me dead, back in that coffin.
I want all the things I thought were finally mine. The house, the estate, the money, and most of all, the freedom to be a man.
Oh.
Look at me, Mama. Listen to me call you that, Mama. A grown man, 38 years old, tied to his mother's apron strings like some sniveling little boy.
I never meant to keep you tied down.
Oh, yes, you did. You even did it with the judge. Father's life wasn't his own either. You killed him.
You are mad. Keep away. Keep away. You want to kill me.
I'm not going to kill you, Mama. You know I haven't got the strength of will for that.
Oh, of course you won't, son. But you can have anything you want now we've had this little talk. Now, please get Hannah like a good boy.
Oh, no, Mama. I don't need you anymore. You left me everything in your will.
But I'm not dead.
To all the world except me, you are. And you're going to stay that way.
If you come one step closer, I'll scream.
No one will hear you. Not in this big old house. Westerly's thick walls have no ears.
What are you going to do to me?
You'll see, Mother.
Oh,
You'll see.
It's really you.
You're going to put me back in that coffin and bury me alive.
Yeah.
Codsworth?
I haven't any
You're
choice now.
still here.
Please,
Don't
So,
worry.
Other
You'll
people could
be
still be
fine,
alive,
Uncle.
too.
But of course I'm
very
still
alive.
here. Surely you don't think a little
But not in the
radiation
coffin.
could deter the pride of General Atomics International? But you seem the worse for wear. Best not let the wife see you in that state.
Yes, Master Buford.
Where
I want
is
you
the
here,
missus,
in the
by
hall.
the way?
What is it, sir?
Where's William?
He's in the stable, Master, grooming the horses for the funeral tomorrow. You want I should fetch him?
No, not yet.
They killed her.
Down.
Sir,
I want
these
to talk to
things
you.
you're saying,
Yes,
these
sir?
terrible things,
Now,
I
where
believe
to
you
begin?
need a distraction.
Hannah,
Yes,
you
a
were mighty
distraction
beholden to my father,
calm this
weren't you?
dire mood.
Judge Montgomery was a
It's
fine
been
man.
ages since
Was
we've had
very
a proper
kind to
family
you and your
activity.
The judge was powerful good to
or
me and William.
perhaps charades.
And my mother?
Sean does so love that
Mrs.
game.
Montgomery is a
Leave
fine
it.
lady. It's been a privilege to have served her as housekeeper.
And will you consider it a privilege to serve me in the same capacity?
If you want me, sir.
And William?
Where I go, William goes. You know, he's just a great big overgrown baby. has to be cared for like one.
Or they'd shut him away somewheres,
I wouldn't ever let them do that to my boy. He couldn't stand being shut in. You wouldn't let them do that to him, would you, Master Buford?
Not if I can count on you to help me.
You can, sir. You can. And
Well, what about William?
he does what I tell him.
Yes.
He's old as you are, but he has the mind of a child.
I'd want to be absolutely sure of both of you.
I don't understand you, Master Buford.
Hey,
Then I'll make
Codsworth.
myself plainer.
Sir, well,
I
just
think you
tending
must
the
have always
garden,
hated
sir.
my mother.
Though it is hard to be a
Why did
green
you stay
thumb
on
when
after
you
Father
lack the
died?
requisite digit, I'm
I
afraid.
stayed because where else could I go?
You're sure it wasn't because you were afraid?
My
Afraid of
God.
what?
They did it.
Not odd, Hannah.
Those bastards really did it. Everything's
Or
dead.
William.
Everything's dead? Ah, yes,
Oh, don't
the
look so
garden.
terrified and
The
trapped.
posies have been
I know it all, Hannah. I know it all.
Master
Oh,
Buford,
if only the
How
missus
you
were
must
here
really
to
hate
help.
us all.
Where is she,
Even
by the
Father at
by?
the end.
not the judge. Never the judge.
Even after what he made you sign?
She's
What would the judge ever have wanted me to sign?
in a better
A
place.
confession that you
Sir,
saw your son
these
William
things
commit
you're
a
saying,
murder 10 years
these
ago.
terrible things, I believe you need a distraction.
How did you
Yes,
know?
a distraction
It's one of the
to calm
advantages of
this
my dear
dire
mother's
mood.
unexpected death.
It's been
It was
ages
among the
since we've had a
papers the
proper
lawyer turned
family
over to me.
activity. Checkers, or perhaps charades.
All these
Sean
years.
does so love that game.
How could Randolph
Mr.
have done that to me?
Land,
You
with
know why. You were an eyewitness. And you know that William wasn't alone.
It was an accident. And you were only boys.
Pretty old
Sean's
for boys, Hannah.
Been kidnapped.
We were both going on 19.
But I'm going to
and
find
the
him.
Copley kid was only 15.
I'm going
It
to
was
get
only
my son
father
back.
being a judge
It's
that
worse
saved
than
us
I
all.
thought.
Any jury in horse country
You're
like this could have
suffering
told
from
that boy's neck wasn't
hunger-induced
broken by any fall
paranoia.
from a horse.
Not eating
The
properly
finger
for
marks were
200
gouged
years
into
will
the
do
flesh.
that, I'm afraid.
The rope burns were raw on his wrist.
Why did you do it, Master Buford?
Not I, Hannah. Remember?
Doesn't matter how long
William
it's
was
been.
the culprit.
William didn't know what
I
he
feel-
was doing.
A bit
You
overdue,
egged him on.
If
That
I
means
did,
you're
I didn't
2
mean it to go so
centuries
far.
late for dinner.
William doesn't know
Uh-huh.
his own strength.
What does it matter? It's nearly 20 years ago. Why
What?
did you rake up old ashes?
Food?
There are certain
yeah,
things
sure,
I have to be sure
I need a minute to
of.
think.
What?
Then I'll be right
In
back.
spite of everything, your complete loyalty to me.
I have little choice. If you have any confession.
I have it. In your own handwriting. And William's scrawl, too.
Codsworth.
Just
I'm going
getting
to
your
ask you to
snack,
search your
sir.
conscience further.
Just a moment.
Come with me.
No, Master
here you
Buford.
are, sir.
Don't bring me to the coffin. I don't want to look at her. I don't want to.
Stop that. Here.
Your loved
Look.
ones may simply
Open your
be
eyes.
hiding
Oh,
from the Red
it's
Menace.
empty. She's gone. What have you done with her?
The Red Menace.
Bedroom.
Gotta be kidding me.
I have an idea. Let's search the neighborhood together. After all,
I'm
the
afraid
missus
that
and young
blind
Sean,
old
they're-
bugler, Dr. Wayne,
they're
slightly
my family.
exaggerated my mother's untimely end.
You mean she's
There's
alive?
nothing left here.
And unfortunately, quite well. I see the news is as disappointing to you as it was to me. Oh, don't try to hide it, Hannah. You know you hated her quite as much as I.
I won't deny it.
Hey,
The humiliation.
Codsworth.
Sir,
The
give
day
me
by
the word,
day
sir, and I'll
degradations your
initiate
mother
my
has put
search
me
for
through all these years since your father died. I can never forgive her for them.
I'm glad to hear it.
When she was dead, I was glad. God forgive me.
All right.
It was one of the
Lead the way.
happiest days of my life.
And mine. That's why she's going to stay dead, Hannah.
You're mad. You can't murder your own mother.
Nothing is further from my mind. No. Dear Mama will come to no physical harm. You and William will see to it that her bodily needs are well taken care of. And I, as complete master of Westerly at last, will see to it in turn that you and William are taken care of.
What are you going to do with her?
First of all, Hannah, you're going to explain to William. Then bring him here so we can nail up this coffin and the burial services can be completed tomorrow.
You no, you can't.
Better tell William to bring a sack of meal or corn. Won't do to have the coffin too light.
How on earth can you hide your mother from from everyone.
On Earth. That's very apt. I'll tell you what we're going to do with her, Hannah. Just what we do with the roots and the preserves. We're going to put Mama in cold storage. Make sure to drive them home, William.
Do see machine burying a whole good sack of good feed. I picked up the wormiest what I could find.
That's enough now. Finish up.
Finished now.
Got the lantern, Hannah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you strip the bed in the spare room, Hannah?
Yes, sir, I did.
William, you go on up there and bring that bed and all the furniture downstairs to the old hidey hole, right?
Sure will.
Where's this hidey hole?
William could tell you as good as me. Or better. He's the one who found it. Must be, 15 years ago.
16, Master Buford. That was the year Miss Prudence dropped her first foal. That's when old Mr. Todd Hunter, the vet man, told me all about his daddy and your grandfather and how they dug out the hidey hole and made it out a big room like a station on the Underground Railroad.
William, go see to the furniture.
Yes, take me a while to get the bed apart.
Take your time.
The Underground Railroad? You mean this was a slave station? To hide out escaped slaves being passed to the north?
What it was.
But you can't put your mother in a place like that.
Why not? She spent her lifetime trying to turn the clock back, make a slave of everyone else. Why shouldn't it be her turn? For a change.
How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child, as King Lear had occasion to remark. Still,
Hey, boy,
on the record,
what are you doing out here all by
Mama
yourself?
is not much of a prize either. Let's leave her in cold storage until we return.
Who's your owner, buddy?
With Act 2.
Okay, then. Let's stick together.
In the weeks that pass, Mrs. Randolph Price Montgomery is finding her quarters somewhat less elegant than she liked. But at least they are less confining than a coffin. Buford, her son and now heir, has been living as high as he promised himself and cutting a swath as the county's most sought-after bachelor.
I declare, Buford, I thought I'd never be able to coax you away from all the other ladies.
Nancy Lee, they may have had my arms, but my heart was with you.
Well, I'd have felt a lot sure of that if I'd had your name a little more often in my car.
I just don't want us to get talked about too much.
Well, why ever not? Would you be ashamed to have your name linked with mine?
Why, Nancy Lee, you know better than that.
Aren't you going to sit with me, sugar?
Oh, why, sure, honey.
Hold my hand.
Just lies in mine like a little bird.
Now that's more like my Buford. Kiss me.
Angel.
Still the same old thrill.
Gives me goosebumps all over.
Oh, that's nice. I wouldn't want to think I'd lost the power to get you going.
Why would you think that?
Well, I'll tell you, Buford. I thought when your mother died, it would give us a chance to be closer than ever. I mean, since we could come right out in the ocean. I didn't think it would stop you chasing after every pretty girl in sight.
I wouldn't take a one of them or exchange any of them for you.
Now, I'm right glad to hear you say that, sugar, because I'm afraid you're not going to be a bachelor anymore.
Huh?
I got something to tell you. You're going to have to go back to being a family man again, I'm afraid.
What? What are you saying?
But you're going to be a daddy. Aren't you proud?
Good Lord. Are you sure?
That I'm in a family way? Well, it's very easy for a girl to be sure of that.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, with Mama gone, there's no problem at all. You're just going to have to make an honest woman of me.
My parents surely won't object. And you wouldn't want the colonel to come after you with a gun, knowing that my daddy is the best shot in South Carolina.
Now, wait a minute, Nancy Lee.
Oh, Sugar, you know I'm only fun. And I know you're going to be every bit as happy as I am once you get used to it. Oh, honey, aren't you just thrilled to death? We're going to get married.
Come in.
Excuse me, Master Beauty.
What is it, Hannah?
It's about Mrs. Montgomery.
She isn't that yet.
I meant your mother, sir.
Oh. Oh, what about it?
She keeps asking for you.
Well, tell her I'm... Just don't tell her anything. You haven't said anything about the wedding tomorrow.
No, sir, but...
But what?
About your mother. She wants to talk to you. And it does seem so inhumane to keep her locked up alone.
She sees you or William every day, doesn't she?
Yes.
Her quarters are comfortable and clean, aren't they?
Yes.
She's in perfectly good health?
Oh, yes, never better.
More's the pity. Well, then?
She's lonely.
So was I all those years she had me under her thumb. And I'm not going back to that. By tomorrow, I'm going to have my own woman. And a beauty at that. Mother's not going to spoil that for me.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Good. Now get out of here. And take the whiskey carafe with you and fill it up. It's almost empty again.
Yes, sir, Master Buford. Sir? William?
Yes, Mama?
Take this carafe and fill it with Master Buford's bourbon and bring it back to him in his study.
Yes, sir. I reckon old Master Buford's getting himself liquored up for the bachelor party.
I reckon he's trying to build himself some Dutch courage.
What do you mean, Ma?
I mean, I don't think he exactly figured on getting tied up again when he cut his mama's apron strings.
Beautiful. Oh, look at that. It started into rain. Such a pretty night, too.
Let's go on up to bed,
My husband. All he ever seems to think of now he's made me his little goods and chattels.
Nancy Lee, all I mean was I'm tired.
Tired of me after 2 short weeks?
You know I didn't mean that.
Well, come here, then. Lay your head on Mama's breast.
Don't say that.
Well, heavens, don't be so sensitive. Your Mama's dead and gone.
Yes.
Although sometimes, I swear to goodness, I get the feeling in this rickety old house she's still sort of around.
Oh? What makes you think that?
Well, don't jump so, darling. It's just a spooky feeling. Maybe you and me should have gotten rid of Westerly and gone back on to South Carolina with Mom and Papa.
No. We can't leave here.
Well, all right, sugar. Don't take on, sir.
I didn't mean to jump at you.
Oh, of course you didn't. You're just so kind to little old me, and you were so generous to lend the colonel all that money to go back south with Mama to build up our old, lovely old plantation again.
It must be the size of half the state what it's costing to restore it.
Well, it had gotten run down, sort of, but you've nothing to worry about, Buford. You'll get the money back.
Of course, Nancy Lee. What is it?
Oh, this old porch. It's starting to leak like a sieve.
I'll have William look at it in the morning.
That big old lame brain. Buford, if we're going to stay here at Westerly, I want some changes made. I'd like to do some rebuilding.
We can discuss that in the
And
morning.
I want some new servants. I don't want that silly old William and Hannah around. They've got to go.
No.
But, Buford...
Whatever happens, William and Hannah stay. And we stay. That's final.
My Buford, you are so masterful when you get mad I could just swoon. Come on, let's go on up to bed. And I'll show you just how wonderful it is to be married.
I came out with your mother's tray, Master Buford, and she nearly caught me.
What the Sam Hill was Nancy Lee doing in the cellar?
I don't know.
She didn't see anything.
I'm sure not.
Does she suspect anything?
I don't think
Damn that woman.
That's her now.
Get out, Hannah. I'll handle this.
Yes, sir.
Nancy Lee, what the devil were you doing down in the cellar?
No need to take on, so I was just making up my mind where to put the wine cellar.
What wine cellar?
The one we're going to build in the back there.
What for?
Well, I intend to start entertaining, having guests to stay. Well, bring this house alive.
No. No wine cellar and no guests. And you stay out of that downstairs.
Don't you order me around. I'll do what I want in my own house.
What did you mean by locking me out of our bedroom last night?
I don't allow anyone who can't behave like a gentleman in my room.
If you think just by withholding your favors from me you can get your own way...
You listen to me, Buford. One way or another, I always get my own way, and don't you forget it.
Master Buford, you can't sleep here on the floor, sir.
What? Oh, yes. Got to, Hannah. Own wife won't let me in bedroom.
Come on, sir. You've been drinking. I've made you up a bed in one of the guest rooms.
Want to sleep on bedroom. Not guest room. Ironic, isn't it, Hannah? Don't have much luck with the ladies, huh? Out of the frying pan into the fire. She's got to go. Except can't. Because of baby. Got a child to think of. Can't figure that one out.
William, is my horse ready?
Morning, Nancy Lee. My, ain't you the prettiest thing?
I asked about my horse.
Oh, yes, Miss Nancy. I combed and curried and shined that old horse.
Would you bring him around to the front?
Yes, sir, Miss Nancy.
And the name is Mrs. Montgomery.
Yes, Mrs. Montgomery.
Oh, get out of my sight. When you bring him around, let me know. I'll be in the parlor. Buford?
Here.
Hannah said you wanted to see me.
I want to talk to you.
I'm afraid I don't have time. I'm going riding.
That's what I want to talk to you about. Do you think it's wise?
What?
All this riding in your condition.
In my condition? Oh, land. I'd near forgotten.
Forgotten? How could you forget the baby you're carrying?
I'm sure I wouldn't if I were. Only I'm not. I never had one.
What?
Oh, Buford, don't splutter so. If you'd half a brain in your head, you'd realize that long ago.
It was all a trick to get me to marry you.
At the time, you seemed such a catch, and the competition was a little heavy, so I thought I'd just make sure of you. And it worked. I'm really sorry to have disappointed you about the child.
Finally had a bobby pin.
Disappointed? You don't know how relieved I am. Now there's no problem.
What do you mean, no problem?
To end this marriage, to get a divorce.
You think that's no problem?
It shouldn't be. I'm prepared to make a reasonable settlement.
And just what would you consider reasonable, Mr. Montgomery?
We can waive the money I loaned your father and call it a day.
The money you loaned my father. That wasn't a loan. That was a little payoff for a nice background of Southern gentility to track me a man. The Colonel and his wife are just as phony as I am, dear heart. And they are long gone. I'm where I want to be, with a name I like, and I'm not giving it up for anyone. You are never going to get rid of little Nancy Lee. No how, no way at all. Now, if you'll excuse me, dear husband, Why, Hannah. Hello. Did you get a nice earful?
The door was open, Mrs. Montgomery, and William asked me to come in here and tell you that he's waiting outside with your horse.
He could have told me himself.
And I hope that damn beast throws her and breaks her neck. All right, Hannah, what are you waiting for?
It's your mother, sir. She's in a state. She insists on seeing you.
No. I've had enough of Montgomery women for one day. Tell her I... No. Forget that, Hannah. I've changed my mind. I think I will pay Mama a visit. I have a little surprise for her.
But you can't be so cruel, Buford. Keeping me here
Got
locked up like an animal. You've got to let me go.
You know I can't do that, Mother. I've explained again and again why you can't suddenly turn up alive.
Oh, but I can't stand it anymore. It's like being buried alive. Oh, Buford, it's so lonely.
I know that, Mama. And I know it just plain isn't fair. So I thought of a solution.
Oh, what, dear?
How would you like to have a nice, permanent companion?
Did I make an unguarded statement that Buford was no match for the ladies? Perhaps in one sense that's true, but in another, well, it seems that Nancy Lee is going to have cause to regret her match with Buford. We'll find that out shortly when we return with Act 3. Now, it's one thing to get away with disposing of someone already legally certified as dead and supposedly suitably interred. Nancy Lee is another problem. She can't have a convenient epileptic seizure. Can Buford get away with it?
Nancy Lee, I've been thinking about us.
Don't waste your time. Nothing's going to change. I've got nobody but you and nowheres in the whole wide world to go. I'm a permanent fixture, Buford.
Oh, I know that, honey. And I was wrong to think anything else. Don't you know I really want you here with all my heart?
On my terms. Don't you try to fancy talk me.
Won't you please let me tell you what I was thinking about?
If you make it short.
And sweet. What I was going to suggest, just to clear the air, sort of, and give us both a chance to get a new perspective, was a trip.
I don't want to go anywhere with you.
Oh, I didn't mean together. I meant just you alone, sugar. Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia. You could buy yourself a whole new wardrobe. Like it was the trousseau you never really had.
Oh, Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia.
Even Paris, France, if you want.
Paris, France. Oh, Buford. Do you mean it?
Anything's worth trying just to work things out for us. And to prove I mean it, you just go tell all your friends and everyone around that you're on your way.
Oh, won't I make them squirm with envy? Washington, Philadelphia, Paris, France.
Then you'll go?
What woman will pass up the chance? Well, I'll ride everywhere this week and let everyone know. Just one thing, Buford, you ought to understand.
Well, what's that, sugar?
This doesn't change anything. I'm still going to spend the rest of my life right here in this house.
Oh, I know that, Nancy Lee. I know that for sure.
Master Buford, you just can't get away with it.
Now, you hush up, Hannah. I'm going to.
But what will other people say?
There's nothing for them to say. Nancy Lee went off on a little trip, and she never came back.
Master Buford, you're flying in the face of God.
Hannah, to the devil with it. Now, you do as I say, here?
Yes, sir.
Now, you and Lou and William have already got the extra bed set up downstairs, and the chest of drawers and so on.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Then get busy and take all Miss Montgomery's clothes downstairs. Shouldn't take you too long. Most of her wardrobe is already packed.
What am I going to tell your mother? Ever since we moved the extra furniture in, she's been like to drive me out of my mind asking questions.
You haven't told her who to expect.
She said not to.
That's quite right, Hannah. We have to preserve the propriety. I think it's my place to introduce my mother to my bride.
Oh, Miss Montgomery?
What is it, Hannah?
Master Buford asked me to have you go right downstairs as soon as you got back from riding.
But I want a bath and change.
He said right away, the moment you got here.
Why?
He said he had a little surprise for you.
Oh, very well. Buford?
Nancy Lee?
Yes, what do you want me for?
Come on down. I'll show you.
Oh, for goodness sake. Hold that lantern a little higher. I can't see.
How's that?
Better.
Right over here by the back wall.
Hannah said you had a surprise. Why, Buford, you're going to do it.
Do what?
Put in my wine cellar while I'm gone.
Something like that.
Man,
of
I
course
don't
we'll
know
have
who
to
you
build
are, but
regular
your time
bins
is
instead of
impeccable.
these old rickety shells.
Preston Garvey.
You know what I thought when I was
Commonwealth
looking
Minutemen.
about down here before?
Oh, what was that?
If we tore down these
Minutemen?
shells...
So
well, what
now
I
I'm
mean
traveling
is,
backward
I
in
was sort
time?
of
Protect
checking
the
off
people at a
house
minute's
upstairs,
notice.
and it's
That was
come
the idea.
longer than this cell.
So I joined up,
Is it?
wanted to make
Yes,
a difference.
I walked off the
And I
cellar.
did, but
You suppose there might
things fell
be
apart.
any room behind
now
where
it
we
looks
could
like I'm the
sort of
last Minuteman
scoop out
left
and make it
standing.
bigger?
Now, why don't you
Please,
and me
go on.
try and find out?
Why don't we? Of course, I reckon
It's a
you'll need
cruel
help.
world.
Oh, I don't
You think I don't
so.
know that?
It might be quite easy. Like,
Nope.
like this, for example.
One good idea can make all the difference. Mm-hmm.
There's a crashed vertibird up on the roof.
In a room.
Old school. Pre-war. You might have seen it.
A room you're
Well,
going to be
nice.
sharing for a long time.
Well,
No.
Looks like one of its passengers left behind a seriously sweet goodie. We're talking a full suit of chair.
Nice.
Get in there.
You can't keep me in here.
T-45 power. Military issue.
You'll keep your mouth shut for once and do as you're told.
Oh, no, I won't. You wouldn't dare shoot me.
Don't tempt me.
You put that pistol down.
And it's...
It can't be. Who are you?
Don't you remember the first Mrs. Montgomery?
But your mother. Your mother's dead.
A popular misconception. Let's just keep this private, shall we?
You're really Judge Montgomery's wife? Certainly. Buford, what is this slut doing here?
Now, Mama, that's not nice.
Isn't this that Nancy Lee person I warned you to stay away from?
Yes, sir. Maybe about the one time you were right, Mama.
Well, get her out of here. I don't want her. And I demand you release me, too.
You know I can't do that. The best I can do is provide you with Nancy Lee.
Ma'am.
You're not going to lock me up with this horrid old
Dog
woman.
me
Now,
brought to
that's
us.
no way to talk to your mother-in-law.
So,
What?
he's your dog?
I'm sorry, Mama.
Ah, he ain't
All the
my
excitement
dog.
I forgot to tell
You
you.
can't own...
Nancy Lee's my bride. We got married. That makes you both Mrs. Montgomery. That's
Visions.
how come I thought it would work out real nice.
Uh-huh.
Have you roommates. Sort of
That's incredible.
keep it all in the family.
I can see.
Sure. Whatever it is, I'll stop it.
Ma,
Oh, I wish I could help you, kid.
My hand on the stove.
Ma, what are we going to do?
What is it, son? Here, sit down. It's shaking all over.
You know that big old stone you wanted down in the preserve cellar to make a table of? For making cornmeal and such?
Yes?
Well, a while ago I